Warning, this parasite dissolves human flesh and bones. Hey folks, Mystery Films Recapped here. Today we will be covering the 2012 South Korean horror sci-fi movie, Deranged. Spoilers ahead, you have been warned. Now with that being said, let's continue with the movie. The movie begins as we are introduced to the main protagonist, Dr. Jae-Hyuk. He is a father of two and a former biochemistry professor from Seoul. Due to a disastrous stock market purchase he made on the advice of his detective younger brother, Jae-Pil, he lost his life savings and his job. Jae-Pil has repeatedly apologized for losing Jae-Hyuk's money in the stock market, but Jae-Hyuk refuses to accept his apology and doesn't want to have anything to do with him. After losing all of his savings, Jae-Hyuk presently works for ChoA Pharmaceuticals as a pharmaceutical salesperson. However, he's also reluctant to do menial activities such as bringing his employer James Kim's family on vacations and kissing his clients' feet. Because of the pressure that falls on him, his wife repeatedly volunteers to help him maintain the family, but his pride prevents him from forcing his wife to work. On the other hand, Jae-Pil is still remorseful about the catastrophe his brother went through and continues to hunt for methods to repay him. One day, he detects unusual stock activity at ChoA Pharmaceuticals and tries to warn his brother, but a fed-up Jae-Hyuk ignores him and refuses to listen to anything he says. Later, it is revealed that ChoA Pharmaceuticals has been overtaken by BronStar, a foreign company that has shut down its R&D section to save money. To win his brother back, Jae-Pil enlists the help of his biochemist girlfriend, Yeon-Joo, but she refuses to suffer the same fate as Jae-Hyuk did. One night, a sleepy Jae-Hyuk goes to the kitchen to find his wife and kids eating in the middle of the night. This unusual activity startles him, but he ignores it and goes back to sleep. In the morning, a couple finds a woman's body floating in the Han River and immediately reports it to the authorities. Finding the dead bodies in the pitiful condition has made the couple traumatized. The dead bodies are found to be reduced to only bones and skin. Knowing this, the scientists are curious and question the detectives since skin and bone reduction takes time. The woman who is dead was with her family yesterday night and went to bed with her husband before she was discovered missing the next morning. The police discover numerous additional dead bodies in similar conditions in Seoul's water bodies, causing a media and public outcry. Jae-Pil is also asked to investigate a similar case in the Gangwon province, which shares borders with North Korea. Meanwhile, Jae-Hyuk seems to not know about the cases and is out on a golf excursion with his employer Kim. Jae-Hyuk notices his employer Kim downing bottle after bottle of water on the golf course. Jae-Hyuk and his colleagues do not pay any serious attention to Kim until he runs towards the pond and leaps into it. He jumps into the pond as if he is pulled by some unseen power. Jae-Hyuk attempts, unsuccessfully, to save him, and much like the previous victims, Kim's body is immediately reduced to skin and bones. Jae-Hyuk is sad after his employer's death and returns home late. As he returns home, he discovers his family drinking water in the same way as Kim did before. Several more deaths are recorded the next day around the country. This then draws the attention of the Korean government. The reason for the abrupt deaths is a mystery to the authorities because the victims display no medical signs, yet appear horrible as soon as they leap into the water. In the next scene, investigators discover another dead body in the bathtub of a man with unidentified worm-like critters all around the bathtub. The parasitic horsehair worms are those that generally feed on insects, according to authorities from the Ministry of Health. These worms appear to have upgraded themselves into a new form that allows them to infect humans, It has been discovered that the parasites fleeing the host body for water produced the abrupt change in the look of the victims after jumping into water sources. Because these worms have power over the human brain, infected people are compelled to experience increased appetite without gaining the appropriate change in their weight. It is concluded that when the worms have reached the maturity level and are ready to multiply, the infected humans get extremely thirsty and leap into the river, allowing the worms to exit their bodies and grow rapidly. After researching the conditions, the scientists start to search for the cure of the condition while the government deploys a police force across Korea to keep sick people away from jumping into the water. The government also suggests people to visit the nearest hospital in any case of symptoms similar to the mentioned conditions. As a result, a large number of individuals visit hospitals. Jae-Hyuk panics and hurries home after learning of these events at work. He also remembers his family displaying the symptoms of the sickness. A team of scientists and physicians investigates the organism and concludes that they are unable to extract it completely from the host body. It's impossible to extract because the organisms dwell at the wall of the small intestine, appearing to be part of the intestine and extracting nutrients from there. Because physical extraction of the creature is not possible, scientists believe it may be destroyed by anthelmintic medications, which are drugs used to treat parasitic worm problems in animals. The researchers created a patient group to test the effects of anthelmintic medications on the body. Yeon-Joo raises some ethical issues at the moment, but her superiors are unaffected since they are under extreme time pressure to discover a treatment as soon as possible. As soon as word about the anthelmintic medications got out, people lined up outside pharmacies to get their hands on them. Things get worse when it's revealed that taking any form of anthelmintic would eventually cause more severe suffering and ultimately death of the infected. The government issues a statement immediately recommending individuals not to take any anthelmintic medications to treat the sickness. In a village named Gangwon, Jae-Pil finds the village's head person crying at a local hospital, cursing himself for the entire situation of the epidemic. Listening to this, Jae-Pil asks him to elaborate on his statement. The head person of the village then reveals that in the spring he noticed some strangers releasing their dogs in the stream. He didn't think much of it at the time, as he thought the strangers were trying to get rid of their sick dogs. The village was days away from the tourist season, and the chief didn't want to jeopardize the year's income, so he didn't inform the authorities and collected the dogs' corpses and buried them in the mountain himself. The holiday season arrived, and the tourists flocked to the village, but nothing happened. Some months passed by, and the bodies started to be discovered by the stream. Jae-Pil also learns about his brother's family, but is not able to be by their side at the hospital because of his work duties. More deaths later, a patient reveals that he was cured by a specific type of drug called Windazole. He took it home. Clinical tests also confirm the necrosis of the mutant horsehair worm. The word spreads like wildfire, and the country goes insane in order to get a hold of the drug. It is revealed that only ChoA Pharmaceuticals, the company Jae-Hyuk works for, manufactures the drug. However, the company stopped the production of the drug last October due to poor sales. Pharmacies ran out of supply within hours. Government officials contact the pharmaceutical company and demand that they increase supply. However, ever since being acquired by the foreign investment company, the machines involved in creating the drug were poorly managed, and the company fails to manufacture a single pill. The company's CEO is brought for public hearing, and the government requests the company to reveal the drug's composition. But the CEO says that the company's major foreign stockholders have refused to do so, And the government has no legal grounds to force the company to disclose the drug's recipe either. The country's prime minister offers the company a generous amount to disclose the drug's composition. He gives the company a few hours to accept the offer and threatens them with a scrupulous audit should they not accept the offer. As the company mulls on the government's offer, people become desperate to get their hands on the drug. Jae-Hyuk uses his contacts at the ChoA Pharma to get a hold of the last remaining batch of the drug. However, the last remaining pills are taken away from him when a crowd of people outside the company spot him with the scarce drug. Jae-Hyuk is devastated and his coworker comforts him. Jae-Hyuk's coworker reveals that ChoA Pharma released 100,000 boxes of the drug in the market before its production was discontinued, with each box containing 4 doses. Jae-Hyuk finds it hard to believe that the market ran out of 400,000 doses within hours of the announcement. His coworker speculates that maybe the drugs were never released on the market. Meanwhile, Jae-Pil again starts looking into ChoA's shady stock activity. He learns that a few individuals with no address anonymously bought all the stocks of the company some months back when the company was not even making a profit. ChoA's CEO rejects the PM's offer at the public hearing and strikes with a counter-offer. He requests that the government purchase the entire corporation for 5 billion won. This would turn the drug's composition into government property, allowing the government to reveal it to the public, allowing other pharmaceutical companies to produce more for the fast-growing number of patients. The price is exorbitant, and most government officials oppose the plan. But the PM is under strong pressure to get the treatment to the people, since scientists have discovered that infected individuals would die within a day if they do not acquire the remedy, even if they do not leap into the water. Jae-Pil discovers one of the persons who purchased the company's shares after additional research. The individual is confirmed to be a former ChoA Pharma researcher. Jae-Pil forces the man to tell the truth, and he reveals that the entire health crisis was planned and orchestrated by disgruntled former researchers at ChoA Pharmaceuticals. The parasite Yeon-Joo was discovered by the drug company's experts a few years ago. Researchers began researching the Yeon-Joo parasite's protein that regulates the brain in hopes of finding a solution for other brain disorders such as Alzheimer's. The team was about to start its study on discovering a treatment for Alzheimer's after successfully generating a mutant version of the horsehair parasite that utilized mammals as hosts. When the firm was abruptly turned over and the research group was sacked, disgusted and enraged, a group of researchers banded together and plotted the entire scenario. They purchased the company's shares and unleashed the parasite after stockpiling 100,000 doses of the medicine. As a result, hundreds of thousands of individuals got sick this summer while vacationing near waterways. One of the scientists then acted as if he had been treated by the drug in order to raise stock prices. When Jae-Pil learns of this, he informs his brother about all the conditions, and the two go to the storage facility where the scientists are supposed to have hidden the remaining doses of the drugs. The narcotics are obtained by the two brothers, but by some unknown entity they are locked inside the building, which is then set on fire. The two manage to stay alive, but all the drugs burn to the ground with the building. Later, they also find out that the research scientist who gave them the information about the building is killed by a mystery man. Despite all these situations, Jae-Hyuk decides to prepare the drug himself using his chemistry skills. He believes that he should be able to treat his family without Windazole if he can develop a drug with the similar ingredients to Windazole. Hearing Jae-Hyuk's plan, the other pharmaceutical companies show some interest towards it. Meanwhile, Pil and Jae continue their investigation into the dubious pharmaceutical business, discovering that the killed researcher was the team head and a longtime friend of the CEO. They also find out that other members of the research team have already moved out of the country, and the assassinated team leader also planned to go as soon as the drugs in the warehouse were removed. The pharma CEO and the researchers plotted and arranged the entire disaster from the very beginning. On the other hand, we see the Prime Minister accepting the CEO's offer to buy the company in the thick of it all. The Prime Minister, however, is informed of the entire plot just as he is about to sign the document, and the CEO is arrested for all of his foul deeds. Jae-Hyuk joins forces with other pharmaceutical companies to produce a fast-acting drug that may be used to cure everyone suffering from the condition. A few months have passed. At an amusement park, Jae-Hyuk and his family are enjoying and joking about traveling overseas and the Yeon-Joo worm. As the film comes to an end, we see a dead body drifting in New York Harbor. Jae-Hyuk freezes and turns around to see the body. Well, that was my recap of the movie. Hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what your favorite part was in the comments, and also suggest what movie you want us to recap next. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and like. Thank you.